The 9 Years Podcast.
All right, everybody. You're listening to the 9 Years Podcast. It's Thursday, August 20th, and we're kicking off the show with Stu's favourite band. It's Let's Club 7!
When the world leaves you feeling blue, you can count on me. I will be there for you.
When it seems all your hopes and dreams are a million miles away, I will reassure you.
Right, that's enough of that. There you go. Reach by S Club 7. You enjoy that, Stu? That was
Love it.
well. That was especially for you. After you mentioned to me on the journey to Cardiff how much of an S Club fan you are.
I was in my day. In my heyday when I used to go to Magaluf. I think that one time they were the sort of the theme at every nightclub. So yeah, I did the old Reach for the Stars quality.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Who would you say is your favourite member of S Club 7?
I used to like Jo because I always thought she looked a bit older and a bit wiser. Because I looked a bit young, didn't they? She was like the older one of it. But yeah, all the girls were okay. Was it Rachel? Wasn't it one of the other ones?
Rachel Stevens, yeah. Hannah, yeah.
You know all of them, I don't, Nick. So I think we're proving
I'm
a
just
point.
amazed you've picked your favourite member of S Club as racist Joe. But let's not go down that line right now. We'll leave that for another day. Right, moving on. Thank you very much for downloading the show today, the 25-ish minute AFC Wimbledon audio fanzine. And today we're going to be talking to Paul Raymond about the various voluntary roles he's undertaken and the continued importance of volunteers at the club. But before we do that, we'll actually, Stu, I thought we'd start. Let's start with a quiz. Okay, here's what we'll do. I have 3 questions for you here, all connected to AFC Wimbledon. And if you get all 3 correct, I'll buy your programme for the next game that we're both at. Okay, sound good?
Yeah, I can live with that.
Cool. Make it even easier for you. Multiple choice.
Oh, you're spoiling me.
I know, I do treat you well. I am good to you. So, right, let's go. Question 1, I'll start you off nice and simple, nice and easy. Ryan Sweeney is a 30-year-old former Scottish under-21 international. Is this true or false?
Oh, that could be a trick one. So Ryan Sweeney just come through our youth team. So it can't be, it's false.
Is that your final answer?
I think I'll go with false.
Okay, I'll take that as your final answer. So Ryan Sweeney is a 30-year-old former Scottish under-21 international. Is this true or false? Stu has said false. And I can tell you, this tension music is a little bit long. That is the right answer. Well done, Stu. Well, hey, well, 1 out of 1.
The pressure.
Flying start. If you're wondering why I've asked you that one, apparently, according to the Cardiff City programme last week, Ryan Sweeney is indeed a 30-year-old former Bury player and former Scottish under-21 international. How bizarre. Anyway, right, next one, question 2. I'll tell you what, before I ask question 2, that's really daft of Cardiff to not know the age of a player. I mean, how hard can it be not to know the age of a player?
Did they pick up Peter Sweeney, the one we had before? Because he played Bury, didn't he?
Possibly, very possibly. I do remember, not too long ago actually. It's possible that they have done it, but I still think it's mad to get an age of a player wrong. But anyway, next question. Stu, how old is Will Nightingale? Is he 17 or 20 years of age?
See, I know this one. I know this one because my good friend Lukey Boy politely told me how stupid I was from the last week's podcast. So he is 20 years old.
20 years old. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm more than confident with this one.
Okay, I'll take that. Will Nightingale, is he 17 years old as previously reported, or is he in fact 20 years old? Stu has said that he is 20, and I can tell you, Stu, that is again the correct answer.
This is too easy.
Well done. 2 out of 2. I'm very impressed with your Wimbledon knowledge so far. Right, this is it. Question three. And this one is for the programme. I'll buy your programme at the next game we're both at, okay, if you get this question correct. So, all I'm going to ask you, Stu, is to complete the name of this former Wimbledon centre forward, okay? Richard, what? Is it A, Jolly, or B, Butler?
I'm not getting a crack at it, am I? Well, it could be either, couldn't it? So I would go for the one who scored the most goals, it'd be Richard Butler.
It can't be either, Stu. There's only one answer. I've got it in front of me. Which one have you gone for? Sorry, say again.
It's Mr. Butler.
Butler. That your final answer?
It is.
Final answer, right. Put it in. Former Wimbledon striker, named Richard. Is it Butler? Is it Jolly? Stu's gone for Butler, and I can tell you, Stu. Wow, this is tense. Can barely stand it. It's the wrong answer. Oh, can you believe it? So close. It was in fact Richard Jolly. Never mind. Never mind. Maybe next time. In fact, we might do that again next week.
I bet you will.
See if you can beat me next week for a free programme. Right, okay. Moving on. Crawley and Cambridge. Before we do that, I must say it looks like we're probably going to go well above our 25 minutes today, but never mind. It's a great show, trust me. Right, Stu, let's start with Crawley then. An absolute shocker of a first half, playing 3-4-3. A change to 4-4-2 for the second half, and one of the most dominant halves of football I've seen us play for a long, long time. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Nick. For 45 minutes, we all thought, what's happened here? Because we probably all expected, in all seriousness, to go to Crawley and probably dominate, because they don't look like they have the best team, and they obviously come down last year. But Crawley played a bit of a system where they got Luke Rooney in the little pockets, and he causes all sorts of problems in that 3-4-3 formation. The second half, if you were watching the game first half, you'd have thought, wow, where did that come from? We battered Crawley second half, and finding Bayo got off his on the score sheet and done his famous celebration. What's that called now? So I'm not hip on this now. So what's Bayo's celebration now, Nick?
Moving on. I think it's called the whip. To be fair, I think that's what he calls it. The whip.
You're just being shy there. You know what it is.
I know it is the whip. I know, but which was good to see, and what a great day out it was. And then we took that momentum into Tuesday night, and for 45 minutes reverted to 4-4-2, keeping up with that 4-4-2. And we made a Cambridge team that I expect will be in the top three come the end of the season. We absolutely bossed them for 45 minutes. And we should have been further ahead, and then it all went wrong in the second half. Why did we capitulate so badly?
Yeah, $1 million question, isn't it? It's still frustrating. It's still frustrating now looking back at it. But we gave Cambridge a severe nosebleed first half. We did everything right. We made a bold decision by playing Tom Elliott with Bayo in a 4-4-2 when probably would have thought he'd go with Lyle Taylor. We battered them. They couldn't get out of half. Scored the goal, which we deserved on a balance of play at least. Did a stupid celebration, which I don't know what's going on with that.
No.
And then we just didn't come out in the second half. We've gone from a team that used to come out and really recover well from half-time deficits to a team now that just doesn't restart well. So we've probably got to look at how we restart. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we get to the stage where we used to put Sean Ring out early and start getting him warming up. Maybe do the whole team, because they did come out in the races today. We
didn't, and it was disappointing. But still, a lot of encouraging signs early on. And another encouraging sign is that ahead of Carlisle on Saturday, they can't seem to keep a clean sheet. I think they've conceded 8 goals in the last 2 games. So a lot of promise there. Before we got there, one player that your star of the week this week?
Star of the week, Andy Bartram. Again, sorry if I'm getting a little bit of a broken record, but wow, what a signing he is. He's adds so much pace, doesn't he, to our left-hand side. Good work, grafter, and unlucky not to get on the score sheet yesterday. Yeah, fantastic. And one player that might need to do a little bit better if they're still in the team, of course, against Carlisle. Yeah, not to pick on a man when he's down, but Carly Osborne was indecisive for the second for the first goal when he could have played it off for a throw on, and then went for a header and hit his shoulder when trying to equalise. So not the best of weeks, but I'm sure he's probably his own worst critic, and I'm sure he will be raring and ready to go at Carlisle.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Right, let's move on.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello, Paul Raymond.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, yay! Paul has joined us on the 9 Years podcast. Stu, officially, Paul is our first guest, really, on the show. So, welcome, Paul. You won't be the last, though, as it is our plan as the season progresses to speak to a number of our volunteers and find out a little bit more about what they do, what's involved in their role, how they came to get involved with the club, and the reason we want to do this is twofold, really. The club doesn't run without all the volunteers who give up their free time to help. And I think it's something that, as the years have gone by, we've started to take for granted a little bit. And it's also important to note that the club will always need more and more volunteers as the club gets bigger and bigger, and as current volunteers get, other demands on their time and maybe have to step aside or what have you for other reasons. So we thought Paul was the best person to be the first to speak to about this, as Paul's been helping out for many years now. And Paul, actually, you've been involved with Wimbledon Football Club for many, many years, but with AFC Wimbledon as a volunteer, you became involved in 2002, right at the start. Do you remember what your first volunteer roles were?
I suppose my first real one, apart from various helping out that everyone did at them first couple of meetings, would have been selling golden goal tickets.
Yes.
Which one well-known supporter referred to at the time as selling scraps of paper. I think we can safely say very valuable bits of paper. But it was just a great chance to, get involved in being involved in the club on a match day. So that was the first role that I undertook. It was really enjoyable, and it's good to see that, all these years later, they're still going strong.
Yeah, the golden goals have raised some. I don't know. I don't have it to hand, but some ridiculous amount of money over the 15 seasons now. Go on.
Yeah, I reckon it's well over a six-figure sum, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be by now. It's fantastic work.
Obviously, Paul, I know you very well, but what would you say you get out of volunteering?
It's for most of us in the ground, but perhaps not yourself, Stu. We're never going to get a chance to actually be involved on, sort of the playing or management staff. You're obviously a real expert, so I'm sure the management team regularly consult with you on what to do. So, as not being involved on the playing side or the management side, what's the next best thing that you can do? And I feel that by being able to help out on a match day, it's something that I really enjoy, and I know that I'm playing my part. And there's probably, just on a match day on itself, there's probably about 100 people that volunteer in one capacity or another. And then you've got all the people that volunteer closed seasons and during the week that aren't as obvious to be seen, but plenty of roles to be done.
Yeah, it's quite amazing how many people are actually involved now. You say there that obviously yours is a match day role. What time do you actually have to start then? What role do you have currently? Remind me.
Right. Okay, I'm in the white building as you come down Jack Goodchild Way, which is referred to, it is the pod. No argument about it. If anyone tells you it's not the pod, they're...
It is known as the pod.
Oh, it's definitely the pod. Always will be the pod. And basically, I'm there I like to think as a point of contact for spectators, and the amount of people that come round, just passing even. I deal with signing in people who are volunteering on a daily basis. We take coach bookings there, answer general questions, and just sort of answering queries on a match day to help people that come along to the ground.
I have to say, I've been there. I get there early because we have to park up quite early in the car park. But I must admit, I've always been amazed of how much knowledge you need to know, Paul. Because some of the questions, what do you get any funny questions that are asked by people? And what's it like? What's it like with the away fans? Because I think that's a lot. You get a lot of away fans there, don't you?
Yeah, I think when people come into Jack Goodchild Way and they see people in there, they come over and they ask us questions. It can literally be anything and everything. It can be, how far is it to Kingston? Have I got time to go shopping there? You know, or it's sort of, where do I go in? Where's the nearest place to buy a beverage of choice? But yeah, it's really good. I go to a lot of away games, as both Stu and Nick do as well. So we know what it's like when you get to a ground that you don't know yourself. It's like, well, what can I do? You know, I'm here a couple of hours before the game, you know, so what can I do? I like to think that if we can help people answer questions, have a bit of a laugh and joke with them as well, that perhaps if we come round to playing them again in High League next year, it'll be a case they'll think, oh, hold on, we had a good time at Wimbledon last year, people there were nice, we go back there, and every away fan that comes generates revenue for the club. So it's, you know, it's good to be helpful to them, and it's really enjoyable.
I definitely agree. I think a lot of our public relations in terms of our volunteers on a match day to away fans are fantastic. I think the away fans really do appreciate the welcome we give them, and it does make a difference. And I know the difference I feel when I go to other clubs that have those staff that welcome you and are really helpful. It does make you want to go back there in future seasons, definitely.
Just talking about roles, just going to say, right, if you think of your average match day when you come to the ground, just think of this. Right, Stu, you said you park in the car park, okay?
Yes.
So then you might buy a golden goal ticket. You might buy a programme. You might go into the club shop.
Yep.
You might go, or you will go through the turnstiles. Just to give you an idea, you've probably had contact, without even realising it, with about a minimum of 10 volunteers just in that. So everywhere you look on a match day, there's people doing roles that you wouldn't expect them to be doing. The pitch crew at half time, you know, they're all volunteers as well. So there's always plenty going on, and so much behind the scenes that we don't see. But if they weren't there, you know, the club just wouldn't be able to run as it currently does.
Yeah, the club doesn't run without our volunteers. Absolutely. In terms of your role on a match day, say we'll just do a Saturday game for now. What time? Like, how long is your day? What time do you start? What time do you finish? And how does it work? Do you have to report to like a team leader or a member of club staff? How does your day go on a Saturday?
Yeah, certainly. My role is quite flexible actually, and to be honest, I'm always there. Well, I think very early, but in fact the club shops staff are always there. Day usually starts with a bit of brekkie and fat boys, which is always a good way to start the day, have a chat with supporters. I'm usually at the ground for 11:30. Now,
Okay.
I know that sounds ridiculously early, but it actually really does suit me getting there at that time. I can get a chance to get myself sorted out in what's going on in the pod. So each team have a team leader, and what you do, you report to that team leader, and they let you know, depending on what role you're doing. Obviously, someone like golden goal tickets, Roger will allocate each person a box of the tickets that they go on to sell, tell them where they're standing. But that's your point of contact. And then my role, as I said, I usually work sort of 11:30 till about 2:20. But that actually suits me because nice and relaxed in the morning before things start getting really busy. But most roles are probably start between about 1:30.
Okay.
But with my role finishing at 2:20, it means that I'm sort of in the ground before kick-off, which is nice. And most volunteering roles do finish before kick-off. So if people want to volunteer and are worried about missing the games, it's very few people actually sort of miss kick-off. But there's always something that you can do.
I suppose my sort of question, a bit of a cheeky question, is really, you mentioned Fat Boys there. Now, I know when I've been there quite early and I've gone into Fat Boys, it's heavily used by our strong volunteer base. So, how much are we going to miss Fat Boys when we get our successful plan application for the Plough Lane? And two, who started a petition to make sure they get a slot somewhere near the new ground?
Well, I think you've just started it, Stu, which is good. So I look forward to going on to change.org and seeing that pass 100,000 names, so it then has to be discussed in Parliament. I think that's got to be the aim. It's how much will we miss it? Yeah, it's part of the experience, but I'm sure, once we are back in Plough Lane, either, hopefully, they will be there, or we'll find a new base that we can all meet up in. But yeah, it's really good in there. The staff are brilliant, and it's just really, when I get there, probably 11 o'clock, there's always people and in there, from the various, roles that we have, and you can chat to. Away fans go in there, so you can have a chat with them. And usually you find that people, if they're from, away teams that have come down really early, they like having a chat, because you go to away games, they go to away games. You can just discuss your experiences.
I must say at this point as well, having worked near to Hayden's Road quite recently, there's a great cafe just by the station, actually. I think that might be where we're headed next year. Hayden's Road Cafe, I think it's cleverly titled.
Cafe?
Cafe, well, yeah. You can get a fry up in there.
You can tell we're going to go back to Wimbledon, can't you?
Well, this is true, actually. We should be abandoning cafes and going to, coffee shops and wine bars and places. But, Paul, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. If someone, for instance, we're going to speak about maybe getting involved in a couple of weeks' time, actually, but very quickly, is there a contact person or is it just an email to the club if you'd like to get involved with volunteering?
I believe it's an email to the club, which would be on the info@afcwimbledon.co.uk. But what I will do over the next couple of home games, if anybody has got any questions, you can always approach me at the pod, and I will have definite information of who to contact, or I can take names and contact details. It's not just match days that they're looking for people. In fact, on the Exeter game on the 29th, we've got a campaign that's getting underway, which is going to be extremely important, and they're looking for people to distribute leaflets about what's going to be needed to do in terms of the stadium, and the best thing to do for that, if you're interested and able to help for a little while, a couple of hours before the game, is to contact Zoe Linkson, that's ZOE.Linkson, LINKSON, at thedonstrust.org. And it's a great way just to get a sort of introduction to volunteering, because all you're going to be doing is approaching our supporters, asking them to get involved. So it's, and there's not going to be anything bigger this year than getting a yes decision on the move back. So you'll know by doing your part here, when we do play our first game back at Plough Lane, you're going to be able to say, I played my part, and there won't be any better, sort of feeling than that.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a fantastic way to finish. And yeah, absolutely, if you can get involved on the day of the Exeter game, please do email Zoe at the address Paul said. Zoe's fantastic, and I do encourage you to lend a hand. It must be said that all the volunteers do an amazing job, and I know that during my term time, at least, when I'm actually working for a living, I'm knackered by the time the weekend rolls around, and I'm looking forward to just chilling out and enjoying the football. So not only am I grateful to the volunteers that allow me to do that, but I'm in awe, really, of those that find the energy to add another day to their working week. It is amazing, and I know I keep using this word amazing, but I know volunteers are treated to an away day each season. Last year at Dagenham, I think, which is great. You do get a free ticket and a bit of a meal, but I say, as a club, I think we do forget the work that the volunteers put in on match days with stewarding, media team, club shop staff as well, and all the other roles that actually happen during the season, during the week, off the match day. So I think it's important we continue to recognise our amazing team. Thank you very much, Paul. Before you go, it's your turn to suffer what Stu and I had to by answering a few questions about your time supporting the Dons. So you ready for a few questions very quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Fire away.
Do you remember your first Wimbledon game?
It's really quite funny that you asked that this week. My first
That's because you're on the show,
game
Paul.
was 4th of October 85, and if Mikey T is listening to this, sorry if I got the date wrong. It was a Sunday at Plough Lane, and the opponents were Carlisle United.
Wow. It's like it was meant to be. Do you remember the result of that one at all?
We won 4-1.
Nice. We'll take that.
We were 1-0 down at half time.
We'll take that on Saturday. We scored 4 at Carlisle last season, so we might do it again this year. Okay, next question. In your time working at the old Wimbledon, as we used to help out on the match day at Selhurst Park, who did you most look forward to dealing with? Graham Thornley or Reg Davis?
That was meant to be one of the questions in Stu's True or False quiz, wasn't it? You sure you got them questions the right way round?
I'm staying out of that one.
Should we-
Yeah, I'll take the Fifth Amendment on
Yeah,
that one.
okay, we'll move swiftly on then. And finally, when travelling to the coach on away games, what is your favourite motorway service station?
Oh, hold on. It all changes now. It all changes after last week on the journey to Cardiff, finding out that Lee Delamere
Yeah.
was at Greggs.
Yeah, great shout.
That sort of... All other service stations can just shut now.
Yeah, this is true. I'm not going to detour to Lee Delamere if we're going up to Hartlepool again on coach, but yeah, I take your point. The Greggs was a nice surprise, even though Stu and I, we didn't actually get to Greggs in the end. We ended up in Costa for some bizarre reason. But
To be fair, though, also, not that I research service stations, but I think Greggs has actually won a contract with all the service stations, so I think it's something that we will enjoy as the season goes on, people.
And that's another reason to listen to the 9 Years podcast every week for motorway service station news with Stuart Deakins.
Priceless.
Giving you all the latest on your motorway needs, whatever they might be. Right, thank you very much, Paul. Paul will be joining us here and there throughout the season as well. And you did just mention Carlisle. It is Carlisle away on Saturday. If you fancy going and haven't arranged anything yet, I'm not sure at the moment of the status of the supporters coach. But if you are going to make a late decision to go, please call the club as soon as possible. I am on my hollybobs this week, so I'll be missing it. Stu and Paul are both going though. What time train, Stu, are you on out of Crawley this week?
I'm not too bad. I need to get to Euston, and I think it's about just after 9:30.
Well, just before Stu would be preferable. As
Yeah,
the train
I know.
goes at 9:30.
Yeah,
You won't see me running down what's it called? The foyer? No, it's not a foyer, is it? The platform. But yeah, just before 9:30 for our 4-hour trip north.
Nice. We won't see you running because you can't run because you've still got your car. Never mind.
Next question.
Yeah. Prediction for Carlisle?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win.
I'm going to agree with you, although still a couple of days before. I might change my mind, but never mind. Another game you're interested in for League 2?
Yeah, my one is a battle of the teams that got promoted last year. So Bristol Rovers versus Barnet. Barnet obviously went up as champions. Bristol Rovers through the playoffs. Be interested to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, I look forward to that one as well. I'm going to pick Yeovil versus Luton this week, just because I'm such a big Luton Town fan. Your Carlisle predictions as well that we've made will whack on the Ask a Prediction League, neils-wfc-site.co.uk/APL2. Paul is on there as well. And remember, updates from Carlisle will be provided on the Periscope app at AFCW Scope, so please check it out. Please also check out AFCW Scope on Twitter for updates as well, text updates via Twitter as well. Remember, the goals will be on the Channel 5 football show at 9 p.m. on Saturday night. Much improved show last week. I know I had a moan about it, but I thought it was better this week. A little bit more subdued compared to the week before, but less cringeworthy really. And George Riley was much better in my opinion, so well done, George. You're still not as attractive as Kelly, but never mind. Before we go, Stu, you went to the Paper Towns movie premiere at Wimbledon Odeum last Sunday. How did that go?
I did, yeah. I was there along with Paul Raymond, who was sitting just alongside of me with his popcorn. Yeah, it was really good. John Green done a special announcement, well, not announcement, but a special message before it, really thanking Wimbledon fans and showing how big a fan he is for us. So that was really quite nice to set it off. Paper Town's good film, good. It's like a teenage, I think it's specifically for teenage people, but my age is that. My mental age is down there anyway, so I enjoyed it. But no, it's a good film. And I think it's very important to support John Green, and hopefully he will be showing his face soon at the ground, so we can all thank him in person for all the contribution he's put towards the club.
Cool, right, nice one. On that note, actually, it was good. They obviously sponsored the Plymouth game the other week, and it was good to see Cara Delevingne down at Kingsmeadow. I'm a big fan of hers. It was great to see her. I actually saw in the paper last week that it was her birthday last week. Do you happen to know how old she is, Stu?
Haven't got a clue. After last week's Will Nightingale, stab in the dark, I go for, I don't know, how old is she, 20?
She's in her 20s, yeah. That's not a bad guess, to be fair. She's 23.
Wow.
Every day in the Daily Mirror newspaper, they do a list of famous birthdays, and I noticed last week that Cara Delevingne shares her birthday with a few famous sports people. I thought, do you want to have a few guesses at these ages as well? Mario Balotelli, how old did he turn last week?
25.
Wow, bang on.
I saw his cake on Twitter.
Oh, that's cheating. That's cheating. All right, how about former tennis champ Pete Sampras?
Oh, well, he must be 37.
Oh, you're a bit off on that one. He's actually 44 now.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And last one, how old do you think Daily Mirror reader Katrina Williams of Porthcawl Bridgend is now?
Bridgend? Oh, well, that's an old place, isn't it?
Ooh.
Apologies, everyone lives in Bridgend.
Yeah, that's good.
I reckon, 55?
Okay, you've just offended everyone 55 by calling it an old place, but never mind. It's actually 70. Bang on 70. So happy birthday, Katrina.
Happy birthday.
I hope you've enjoyed the show if you're listening. Anyway, right, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you again for listening. Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at 9YRS Podcast. I do want to thank all of you that have passed on your feedback to us. It really is very much appreciated. It does mean a lot to us that you're enjoying the show. I just want to share a couple of messages we've had. Daniel Huckfield, at Daniel Huckfield on Twitter, he messaged me saying, good work again this week. Looking forward to hearing how you deal with positive news, with a smiley face. Yes, I was grumpy last week. I do apologise, but I think we're a bit happier this week, especially after the fantastic day at Crawley on Saturday. I also want to say thank you to Jeb of Belmedi and Toby Buckman on Facebook for your feedback. We're taking all your comments on board at this stage, so we welcome all your suggestions, all your advice, so please keep them coming. Right, time for us to say goodbye. We'll let Stu's favourite band, S Club 7, play us out. And please remember to join us next week when we'll be talking to Crawley Town Chairman Dave Pottinger about Middle Eastern betting syndicates. We shall see you then. You have to pick the racist member of S Club 7, didn't you?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't do that much research.
Oh, man. Going to get in so much trouble for
I can't believe your
that.
question as well for number 3.
I thought it was a good question.
I was trying to think of my fate of how. I was trying to think of something else that had been fixed recently. I thought, well, no, let's not get involved.
Let's not go down that line. Let's leave that one.
Leave it alone, Stu. Leave it alone.